Hi everyone, welcome to Pilates. We are going to use some weights today. So you'll want to have close by a set of smaller weights, whether they range from 1, 2, 3 pounds, and then you'll want to have one larger weight, probably anywhere between 5 and 10 pounds. So we're going to start standing today to get warmed up and do a little bit of weight work first. So you don't need the weights just yet. We'll get warmed up a little bit first. So standing nice and tall, let's stack hands near shoulder level. That gives us something to go for, and we're going to start with some knee lifts. Trying to raise that knee up nice and high. Really good posture here. Abs are zipped in. Warming up those abs by pulling that knee up nice and high. Now let those arms swing. Opposite arm, opposite knee, lifting together. Last 4, 3, 2, last 1. So let's grab those weights. We're going to start with some triceps first. So if you have a mirror close by, you're going to want to turn to the side so that you can take a look at yourself in the mirror every now and then. We want a slight bend in the knees. We want a really nice flat back. So you don't want to look like this. We don't want to be rounded or hunched. We want that long spine, drawing those shoulders back, long through the tailbone. And we're going to bring those elbows up to shoulder level. And we're going to start with a tricep kickback. Extending that arm straight. Squeezing. Keeping that nice flat back. Taking your time. That upper part of the arm, we're holding it nice and still. As we move through these tricep exercises, if you need to, you always have the option to put those weights down. You can still get really good work for those smaller tricep muscles without weight. Seeing if you can get those arms all the way straight. We're going to hold the next one back there, holding those arms straight. And we're going to do a little tiny lift. Lift. Abs are pulled in. Arms are as straight as you can get them. Let's flip those palms up to the ceiling. Lift. Small little lift. Try to keep those arms really straight. Good, release. Quick little rest. And we're still on those triceps. So let's find that really good position again. Softness bend in the knee. Hinging forward, nice flat back. Let's bring those arms up again. Palms flipped up to the ceiling. We're just going to hold. Breathe. Those triceps should feel warm already. And now we're going to do a little tiny bend of the elbow and then straighten. So it's bend, straighten. Little tiny bend and stretch those arms long. This is where it might start to get really hard. If you need to drop those weights, that's totally fine. Back to hold. Just holding straight arms, super straight. And let's release. Good job. Shake it out a little bit. And now we're going to go to some shoulder work. So we've got softness in the knees. Abs are zipped in. We're going to turn those palms out. Elbows are in close. We're going to reach up above, tapping those weights together up above, and then let's pull those elbows down by the sides. So we're going up and pull down. Keep checking in with that good posture, keeping those abs zipped in. We're going to hold the next one down here. So I'm going to take just a quick turn to the side. We're holding down. We're trying to get those elbows to go back behind us a little bit. It's not this. Those hands are still out, but we're trying to squeeze those elbows back behind us, and we're going to try to squeeze those elbows toward each other. It's a little kind of press. Trying to squeeze a tennis ball in between your shoulder blades. Pinch it in there. Light grip on your weights, so no death grip. Shoulders are rolled back. Try to relax the shoulders down as you pinch those elbows toward each other. And hold. We're going to go back to our overhead press. We're going to change this overhead press just a little bit. We're going to stop right here, elbows level with shoulder, and we're going to go up from there. Up. Up. And now we're adding on. So we're going to be shoulder level. We're going to squeeze together. We're going to open and go back up. So it's down, together, open, lift. And we're going to hold here, and now we're going to press back again. So squeeze back, trying to get those elbows to squeeze back behind you. Release and squeeze back. Trying to keep those elbows up, level with the shoulders. And let's take a short little break. Roll those shoulders back a couple of times. Those shoulders should feel nice and warm now. All right, so now we're going to bring those weights in front of us. We're trying to get about a 90-degree bend in those elbows. And we're going to do a little bicep curl from here. So we're going to work the bicep and the front of the shoulder. So we're going to release one and then the other, alternating this curl. Let's hold them both up in front again. We're going to press elbows and weights toward each other, and we're just going to do a little lift. Lift, lift. It's small. Abs pulled in. Good breathing. And let's relax. Good. Roll those shoulders back a couple of times. And we're going to come down to seated on our mats. So let's start with a couple little warm-up stretches. When we lay down in a little bit, we will do some of our spinal twists. But let's start nice and tall here. Super straight spine, shoulders roll back. Those shoulders should feel nice and warm. And abs are really zipped in. We're going to bring those arms in front. They should feel heavy. Let's take an inhale. We're going to exhale as we scoop that belly button in, rounding. Let's inhale back to nice and tall, your best posture. Exhale and round. Let's do 2 more. And let's come back to nice and tall. We're going to set those hands on top of the shoulders. We're going to roll the shoulders back so we're really tall, good posture. Let's zip our legs together, knees touching, feet touching side by side, feet flexed. Let's take an inhale. On our exhale, we're going to do a little twist to the side. Inhale, center, and then to the other side. We're trying to hold those legs and feet totally still, separating the upper body from the lower body. Let's do 1 more each side. And then let's relax those shoulders. Let's reach for the ankles, the shins, the ankles, the toes, wherever it's comfortable for you to grab on, and give those legs a little shake. Getting ready for our saw. All right, let's come back to nice and tall. We're going to bring those arms up nice and long. Abs are really zipped in. Let's take our inhale. Let's exhale as we reach across. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. Reaching both ways. Nice long arms. Exhaling as you reach. Hinging forward. Let's hold this next one, reaching both ways for 3, 2, and 1. Other side, reach and hold for 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we're going to do our roll like a ball now. So option, if you want to use the weights, they can add just a tiny bit more difficulty to the move if you want. You grip them tightly on the front of your shins if you want to use those weights. Tucking the chin, imagine you're holding an egg under that chin. Look at the belly button. Really scoop that belly button in. We're going to inhale, rolling back. Exhaling on the way up. So holding those feet and toes off of your mat. The weights make it a little more challenging because you have a little bit more weight to control, to hold up off of the mat. Let's do 2 more here. And we'll set those weights to the side. So let's come to nice and tall. We're going to do a few V-sits. So nice straight spine. Let's roll the shoulders back and down. We're going to start with the first one, grabbing on underneath the knees, and we'll lean back slightly to pull those feet up off the mat. Good breathing. Option if you want to release those hands and reach out. Still staying nice and tall, flat back, straight spine. Let's take a short rest. And let's come back to nice and tall. Let's go ahead and grab on underneath our knees again. Roll those shoulders back once more. Find that good balance. We'll add a little movement in the legs. And then our next set, we'll add the weights in with our arms. Let's go ahead and find a leg extension. One side and then the other. Shoulders rolled back and down. Abs really zipped in. Let's do one more each side. And we'll take a short rest. And let's grab those weights. Find a good posture, roll those shoulders back. We'll lean back slightly. We're going to pinch those elbows in right by our sides. Palms turned up, just cradling those weights. And we're going to add a bicep curl. So we're going to lower those weights to the mat and we're going to curl up. We're trying to hold everything else nice and still while we do this bicep curl. Your fullest range of motion here to start. We'll change this up in just a minute. Staying nice and tall. And let's just hold kind of halfway up. Holding, breathing. We're going to lift those elbows out away in front of us a little bit. And now we're going to do a tiny curl. It's just a small little curl. Holding everything else still. And let's take a rest. Go ahead and set those weights down. We're going to go ahead and roll on down to our backs. This is where we'll do a couple of our other little stretches for our back. So let's go ahead and start with those knees hugged into the chest, hugging them in nice and close. And let's add our little side to side rock. And then we'll drop arms out like a T. We'll stretch those legs. Let's stretch the legs long first and arms overhead. Big stretch. And now let's bend those knees and take those arms out like a T at our sides. And we'll go side to side with those knees. One more on each side. And we'll meet back in the center for our 100. So same choices as usual in the 100. You can have the feet down, you can have the knees bent at about 90, or you can take those legs out at an angle. Today, option to use the weights. So you totally don't have to use the weights if you don't want to, but if you want to use the weights in the hands, you're actually going to flip your palms up. So typically we kind of pat down with those hands, but now palms up. So we'll kind of do that same movement, but it feels more like an upward movement. So make sure everybody has that low back pressed into the mat, scooping that belly button toward the spine. We're going to lift the head and shoulders nice and high, reach through those fingertips, look down at that belly button, scoop it in. Decide where you want those legs. And let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale. Halfway. One more set. And resting. Okay, you can set those weights off to the side again. We're going to move into our single leg circles. We won't use any weights for this move. So we'll start with that right leg straight up and down. No knee, really squeeze this right quad. Toes are pointed. Abs are really zipped in. You're zipped into your tight, skinny jeans. And let's inhale as we make our circle. Let's exhale as we lift it up. Inhaling on the circle. Exhaling as we lift. We're trying to hold the left leg totally still. Arms are long by our sides. We're trying to pull those shoulders away from the ears. Unless you want one hand as a reminder to rest on top of that belly button, to remind yourself to keep it zipped in. The next time you come to the top, that leg is really straight, but we're going to add a quick little tap, back to really straight, and back into our circle. So it's a really quick tap. You want to really re-engage that leg to get it as straight as you can. really squeeze it to get it all the way straight. Stay zipped in. Two more here. And let's hug that knee in. All right, let's switch sides. So right foot down, left leg comes up, really straight, no knee. Zipped into those tight jeans. Let's inhale, making our circle to the left. Exhale as we lift it up. Hips stay steady. Right leg stays totally still. Shoulders away from the ears. Belly button toward the spine. No knee. Keep that leg really engaged. Now the next time at the top, we're going to add that quick little tap. Really re-squeeze that leg and then do your circle. Tap and then re-engage. Really squeeze it. No knee. Really stay zipped in. Belly button toward the spine. Two more here. And after that last one, let's hug that knee into the chest. And we'll switch sides. Left foot down, right leg comes up really straight. No knee, really engage it, really squeeze it. Zip it in. We're going to reverse. So let's inhale going straight down, and then we'll exhale as we circle it up to the top. Trying to hold those hips really steady as we make that circle. Your core stability, those tight jeans zipped up, holding everything else still. Left leg doesn't move at all. Squeezing that quad, leg stays super straight. And then next time at the top, let's hold it up there. Let's do that quick tap, and then we'll go right back into our circles. Let's do 2 more here. And then we'll hug that knee in again. And our last set coming up. Right foot down, left leg comes up really straight. Squeeze that quad, no knee. Abs really zipped in, shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, going straight down. Exhale as we circle it up to the top. Really stay zipped in, that core stability, holding everything else still, so we don't want that right leg to move at all. We want those hips to stay really steady. You can always make your circle slower or smaller if you're struggling to keep the rest of the body stabilized. Keeping that leg really engaged, belly button toward the spine. The next time at the top, let's add our little tap. Let's do 2 more right here. And then we'll hug that knee in after that last one. All right. Staying on our mat. Let's have our weights in our hands. We're going to start with the legs really long, and we're going to take those weights overhead. So a nice big stretch to start. All right, so we're really long. We're going to take our inhale while we're stretching here. We're going to exhale. We're going to bring the arms up. And then we're going to bring the head and shoulders up the same time we lift just the right leg. So we're going to sit up. We want good posture here. We're going to lower the right leg, barely tap it, or maybe even leave it a little off the floor. Bring it back up, and then we're going to roll back down. So this has a lot of similarities to our roll up. And now we'll switch legs. Arms come up, head and shoulders lift. The same time the left leg comes up. Leg is straight, we're going to lower, lift, and roll back down smoothly. Switching sides each time. We're going to do 1 more on each side. And then we'll meet back down on our mats. We're going to pull those weights along our sides. In any of these, if it feels too difficult, you can always lose the weights and just not use them. That's always an option. So we're going to start with the legs really long and straight. We want to leave those feet on the mat here to start with. We will progress this and we'll be able to pick the feet up in a minute, but right now we're going to try to leave those heels pressed into the floor, and we're going to do an upper body curl. So palms are turned up, cradling those weights if you want, and we're going to curl, trying to lift the shoulder blades up off the mat and then releasing slowly. So as you curl up, you want to feel like you're reaching through the fingertips, and you want to feel like you're pulling your belly button toward the spine. So we're pulling in on the belly button to lift. It's inhale while you're back. Exhale, curling up, pulling that belly button in. We're going to hold the next one at the top. Look down at that belly button. Try to pull it down toward the spine. Breathing. And let's relax. Take a couple nice deep breaths. We're going to add the feet in. So once we add those legs and feet in, if that starts to bother your lower back, you can just go back to what we were just doing and keeping those legs down. Okay, so that's an option. We're going to start small at first here. So palms are still up. And as we exhale and pull that belly button down and in, we're going to lift the hands and the feet, and then we'll lower down. So it's a small lift, like we're hovering above the floor. Again, you can do this without the weights if you want. You can stay right here, you can keep the feet down, you can stay small, or maybe if you want to come all the way up, you can lift those legs and hands up higher. Your choice. Legs pressed together, feet pressed together, touching, heels touching. Let's do one more. And let's stretch. Legs are long, arms reach overhead now. And we're going to move into our roll up. So again, choice if you want to use the weights in the hands during the roll up, you can. We're trying to roll up smooth and slow. Inhale, stretching forward. Exhaling down, one vertebrae at a time. Look down at that belly button on the exhales. Lengthen and stretch on the inhales. Remember to keep this smooth and slow. There's no momentum. Let's do 2 more. Really taking your time. All right, nice job. After that last one, we're gonna bend the knees. We want about the size of our fist in between those knees. Feet are lined up with the hips. And we're gonna go ahead and grab those weights. We're gonna work a little bit of chest while we're doing our bridges. So we're gonna be working those glutes with the bridge and the chest at the same time. So let's go ahead and roll it up into our good bridge. Squeezing those glutes up, squeezing together. We're going to lift those weights up above us, and we're going to have the ends of those weights touching. Those weights should be hovering over the top of the shoulders and chest area. Good breathing. And now we're going to add a chest press. So we're going to lower those elbows to the floor, barely touch those elbows, and then squeeze back up, touching those weights, straightening those arms. Good. Keep the hips lifted, those glutes lifted and squeezed. Abs are zipped in. Let's hold the next one at the top here with these weights, because we're going to add on. We're going to add a walking bridge in with this. So let's start with one leg out straight while those weights are lifted, and then we're going to go foot down and weights down, and other leg up, weights up. All right, let's change up this sequence just a little bit here. So we're going to walk that one leg up. While that leg is up, the right arm goes down, the right arm comes back up, and the foot goes down. Other leg goes up. Left weight goes down, left weight comes up, foot comes down. So just doing one side here is going to make your core work a little bit harder to stay balanced. We're doing an off-center chest press when we do just one arm. We're going to do one more on each side. Both feet down. Keep those glutes squeezed, lifted. We're going to change the arms here. So now we're going to turn the palms together, facing each other, and we're going to turn this into a fly, a chest fly. So those arms fly out to the sides. We've got a micro bend in those elbows, and then the weights come back together. So the arms stay mostly straight here. Slight micro bend in those elbows. Good breathing. Inhaling, open it up. Exhale, pulling those weights together. Glutes squeezed, hips lifted, abs zipped in. And we're going to add on. So as we lower those weights, we're going to dip the hips down slightly. And as we lift the weights, we're going to lift the hips and squeeze up to the top. So it's inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Let's do 2 more. We're going to hold the last one at the top. Good breathing. And let's go ahead and roll all the way down. You can set those weights down. Let's hug those knees into the chest for a little stretch. And let's circle those knees out and around. And reverse, other direction. All right, hugging those knees back in. You can either roll straight up or roll off to your side. Coming up and getting ready for some plank. So this is where you have the choice. You could use one of your smaller weights, or if you have that bigger weight and you want to use it, you can. So you're going to set that one weight off to the side. You want it somewhere near your wrist. We're going to find our way into a good plank. So we want those shoulders stacked right over the wrists. And we want to tuck that tailbone under. We want a nice flat back. We want neck in line with the rest of the spine. Belly button pulled up and in. Good breathing. And we're going to reach through with the opposite hand, and we're going to pull that weight over to the other side. And we'll go side to side with this weight. So as we move the weight side to side, we are going to have a little shift as we change that balance, but we're trying to hold everything else as still as we possibly can. So a good core stabilization. Keep pulling that belly button up and in. We're going to go one more each direction. And we're going to hold plank, just holding, breathing. And let's find our way to downward facing dog. Pressing that tailbone back and then up. And then let's go ahead and put those knees down. And we're going to find our way down onto our stomachs. You want your small weights again. And again, this is one of those where maybe you don't use any weights at all, that you may not need them, or if you feel like it's too heavy, too much, you can drop them. So with those weights grabbed in the hands, we're going to bring those arms along by the sides, and we're going to turn those palms up to the ceiling so that we can cradle the weights. So we're just resting here with that chin down. Take a nice big inhale. And then as you exhale, we're going to lift the head and shoulders, lift the weights, and lift the feet. Breathing, holding here. Let's take a rest. You can turn your head to one side, take a couple of nice deep breaths. Working the low back here and the glutes. Let's bring chin back to center, and let's lift. Chin, chest, shoulders, feet, arms. Reach through those fingertips. Draw those shoulder blades toward each other. And let's rest. Turn your head the other direction. Couple of nice deep breaths. One more time, chin back to center. Pull that belly button up and in, and let's lift. Breathing. And let's release. We can put those weights down. Let's press up, and then we're going to sit back on those heels. Little stretch for that low back. And let's come up nice and slow. So again, the choice, we're going to do some single leg deadlifts. So a choice to use a smaller, lighter weight, or you can move to that bigger, heavier weight that we use during plank if you want. So let's start with our weight and our balance on our right foot. Spread those right toes. We're going to have the weight in our left hand. And so we're going to take that left leg behind us, just the tips of the toes touching the floor behind you. And we're going to teeter-totter here. So as that foot comes up, you're just going to let that weight hang in front of you, maybe pulling you down closer and closer to your mat. And then come back up, barely touch like the tip of your big toe, and then down. So we're trying to keep our good posture here. The shoulders are rolled back. Spine is nice and straight. Looking out in front of you as you lower down. So don't look straight down. If you look straight down towards your foot, you're going to find your spine rounding. And we want to keep that spine nice and straight. So if you look out in front of you 3 or 4 feet, that'll help you keep that better alignment. Left leg stays really long and straight. Seeing if you can lift that heel. Let's do 2 more here on this side. let's switch sides. So let's move that weight over to the right hand. We're going to have the left foot be out in front. All your balance and weight on that left foot. So think about spreading those toes, bringing that weight there. Just the tips of the toes of the right foot touching the mat. Same thing, other side. Totally normal to feel like you may be better at it on one side than the other. Maybe your balance is better, but still keeping that good posture, that good core stability. Look out in front of you. Right leg stays really long and straight, lifting that heel. Taking your time. Let's do 2 more on this side. And you can set that weight down. Let's do a few stretches. So we work those shoulders and those triceps pretty good. Let's do a stretch, pulling this arm across the front. And then we'll take that arm behind, reaching that hand down the back, keeping that chin lifted as you do this stretch. And let's do the other side, arm pull across. And then arm behind, chin stays lifted. All right, so let's stretch those hamstrings that we just worked. So let's have that right leg be out in front, and let's hinge forward. So you want to keep a nice flat back here, and then you can decide if you feel a great stretch right here, stay right here. Or maybe you want to take those hands a little lower down the shins. Maybe you want to reach those hands to the floor. And then let's walk or move those hands around to the other side so that left foot is out in front. And then let's walk the hands to the center. So you can either be hands on the quads or the shins, or maybe you want to grab the ankles or the heels and maybe pulling yourself a little lower here in the center. And let's put some softness in those knees. Abs are pulled in. Let's come up with a nice flat back. Let's do a great big inhale. Reaching up, stretching. Exhale, softness in the knees. One more time. Inhaling up. And exhaling. Great job, everyone. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. And I will see you all next week. I am going to pre-record ahead of time for next week because I am going to be in Atlanta Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for my Beauty Counter annual conference. So I'll be a little on the early side next week, but we'll be here. Have a great one.